Dragi udeleženci, dobrodošli in lepo
Ladies
pozdravljeni.
and gentlemen, welcome at our conference addressing e-abuse of children. This is the 11th conference so far. Our aim is to promote collaboration of experts to protect children online. This event will host different experts of different profiles, and they will share with us their approaches on how to protect children online. And we want to stress the importance of the international collaboration of law enforcement authorities and other experts to fight against the e-abuse, online abuse of children and sexual exploitation. We're talking about e-abuse. We are talking about crime that knows no border. The answer for such crime and offenses is collaboration, the exchange of knowledge of everybody who is active in investigation, offering assistance to children who are victims of e-abuse, online abuse. We have domestic attendees and also international participants. Our colleagues from criminal police, social work centers, NGOs, educational organization from Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, and our colleagues from the international organization In Hope. We would like to welcome everybody. We have a very versatile participants and speakers, and we hope that we will be able to protect even more children with such an event. The interpreting into English, if you want to
Conference in English, please select English on the bottom of the screen. Tako, usporedno z današnjim posvetom, torej prav na današnji dan pa slovenska policija.
Today, the Slovenian police, while collaborating with Interpol, Europol, the police from Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro, and North Macedonia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, is starting the campaign, an international campaign that will talk about online abuse of children in the Western Balkans. We will talk about this collaboration later, but first I would like to give the floor to our initial speakers. Our conference is organized by Spletno Oko, Safer Internet Center, that is hosted by the Faculty of Social Sciences, the Association of Informatics and Telecommunications of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Slovenia, and the Criminal Police Director of the General Police Directorate. So I would like to invite the Vice Dean for Research of the University of Ljubljana, Professor Iztok Prezelj. The floor is yours. Thank you very much, Tanja, dear participants, dear speakers, dear co-organizers. On behalf of the Faculty of Social Sciences, I would like to welcome you at this conference, E-Abuse of Children. This is the 11th conference. It is a traditional conference, and we believe that it is a relevant topic. Not only because these are severe criminal offenses, it is a threat of security, safety, human rights, and it all includes young people. can lead to suicide. And this part of society, the young, are the most vulnerable part of our societies. We need to protect them also when they are active online. Online abuse means a great variety. That means videos of nude pictures, nude videos, distribution of such videos, and
seveda mladostniki se zelo hitro lahko ujamejo.
And blackmailing of young people. Everybody can fall into this trap. The demand of such videos has been on the increase, especially in the time of the pandemic. The young people, as the vulnerable part of the society, are targeted, but on the increase is also the number of perpetrators. I think that this is with our collaboration, we will strengthen our robustness in the society. And I welcome the international collaboration, the collaboration of the criminal police, that of course covers the safety part of this problem, the collaboration of the Association of Informatics and Telecommunications at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Slovenia, as well as the collaboration of the Faculty of Social Sciences of the University of Ljubljana. We all support the holistic approach to tackle this problem. And it is, of course, very hard to achieve such an approach. I feel that we want to address schools, parents, children, ICT providers, so providers of telecommunications, providers of software, and of course, social work centers. The problem is, of course, that we see physical as well as non-physical violence online, and we are not prepared to combat such non-physical violence. The thought of Socrates, a child is the most vulnerable and naive part of the society, and by entering the online sphere, we need to give the child the knowledge what the threats are. The Faculty of Social Sciences is supporting the campaign of the Slovenian police, Say No, Reci Ne. The program also addresses the handbook as an aid in cases of cyberbullying and abuse of children and adolescents. This is important because we have many unknown variables, and such a manual is very practical. I would like to thank to everybody who works in the Safer Internet Center Slovenia. They have been active at our faculty for more than 15 years now. Now they are campaigning about different problems dealing with online abuse. And let me say one more thing. The Faculty of Social Sciences will continue to support such activities. I wish you a fruitful conference, many good ideas, many great questions, and inspiring conclusions. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Dr. Prezelj, for your words. And now I would like to invite the Director of ICT Association of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Slovenia, Mr. Nenad Šutanovac. The floor is yours. Thank you very much. Welcome. I'd like to thank the organizers, the speakers, the participants. Internet is a modern business model, social networks, mobile applications, and all of this has changed our lives. The use of internet is not only pleasurable, but there are many threats. And many users don't have the knowledge of these threats, not only cyberbullying and cyber attacks that are a threat of our everyday work, but also unlawful content online, unprotected content that impact our opinions, our lives, present and the future, especially while browsing online. Children are the most vulnerable part of the society. They are naive and they are the most the group that is under attack by these kind of attacks. We have to fight such online abuse of children severely. The directive of the EU, it offers the platforms to detect online abuse of children. And this has led to a 51% decrease of such content in the EU. And an agreement was reached where we'll be able to look, to search for such content on the internet. Digital Services Act will provide for responsibility of content, which will be an important element of safer internet. An important role is, of course, put on parents, but also the legislators. When preventing cyberbullying, we need to have digital competences, especially those that are fostered in the school environment. Our association was part of this program, and we are putting the subject on the agenda, so the subject in schools that will educate children on the threats of cyberbullying and online abuse. But also I am in favor of studies in this field. I believe that this conference can contribute to raising awareness, to talk about the topics and to prepare for the prevention of such actions. We support these activities. We are also part of the raising awareness campaigns, educating the economy about this field, and we want to have our digital society safe, including ethical and moral emphasis. I wish you a fruitful conference. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Šutanovac. I would also like to welcome the Director of the Criminal Police Directorate of the General Police Directorate, Mr. Vojko Urbas. I would like to invite you to the floor. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy and honored to welcome you at the 11th conference working towards safety of children online. The traditional event proves that the organizers have been doing a great job, but it also points out that we are facing an increased awareness about online child sex abuse and also the safety of our children. A few years ago, we could not think about how much of our lives will be carried out online. But due to epidemiology, in the last 2 years, we have been stuck behind computer screens. So today we shop online, we go to school online, we socialize and also work online. Different global organizations dealing with protecting children online have been talking about the increase of the number of child sexual abuse online. Children have been even more exposed to abuse because they were closed in their rooms and they did not have any contact with school or teachers or any other adults. And of course, the online predators use this opportunity. In some EU members, we have seen a rise in the demand for child sexual abuse material online by a quarter. We do not know how to live without the web. Today, it is very easy for children to connect with their friends from their homes. They only need to use the internet and their smart device, and they have open doors to anywhere in the world. And also, the children are very savvy when it comes to foreign languages. And they also are very easy to trust other people. And so they're a very easy target for offenders who groom children in order to satisfy their sexual lust. Talking about sexual abuse online, it is of course too late when the act has already been done. That is why we need to focus on prevention. And so, which means that we need to deal with the problem before it arises. This, of course, involves the cooperation of all stakeholders. We need to raise our awareness and point out the danger that is preying on children, because children are, of course, our greatest treasure. Personally, I see our work as a high mountain. Before we climb the mountain, we need to have the right equipment, we need to train, we need to go into training and have experience. When climbing, we are of course exposed to different types of dangers, to different types of weather, and also despair. When we cannot see the tip of the mountain, maybe we cannot imagine ourselves arriving to the tip. But we know our direction. And for such dangerous attempts, we know that we will have to try very hard. And of course, the same goes for all of us who try to prevent children from becoming victims of child sexual abuse. We work hard, we gain experience and learn about new practices. And we need to, of course, take care of our professional shape. Of course, the investigators also collaborate on the international arena where we meet and exchange our practices and experience. Recently, we are facing a greater connection of stakeholders in the area of Western Balkans, primarily due to our similar linguistic roots. I'm very happy that today we will begin the international campaign about raising the awareness about e-abuse of children. We, of course, remain very confident and persistent, and we need to remain courageous when it gets hard, because we want to reach that tip of the mountain, and that is why we always strive to reach higher goals. I expect and hope that we will have a lot of answers to your questions, and I hope that this will also be an opportunity to exchange experience. I'm confident that today's content will be comparable to all the latest developments in this field. Thank you very much and good luck. Thank you, Mr. Urbas. And I would like to thank all the representatives of the organizers for their welcoming addresses and kind words. The fight against child sexual abuse is one of the priorities of the EU. At the European level, an important stakeholder in this is Europol. It provides support to member states in fight against the severe types of crime. And of course, child sexual abuse is a severe crime. That is why I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Cathal Delaney, the representative of Europol. He is head of team and analysis project Twins EC3. And he's dealing with fight against sexual abuse and exploitation of children. Let me also add that we do not have the translation of his presentation, but nonetheless, we will provide a summary of his presentation at the end of the speech. Mr. Delaney, I'm very happy to be able to host you at today's event, and I would like to ask you to give us some of your words. Thank you.
Dobro jutro. Hvala organizatorjem in kolegom za vaše povabilo ter za privilegij, da smo tukaj z vami. For those of you who couldn't understand my brutal Slovenian, thank you to the organizers and the colleagues for their invitation and the privilege to be present at this event. It is my second time to have this privilege, and I greatly appreciate it on behalf of Europol to be invited here today. It's very important to have this event. It's very important to have this conversation about child sexual exploitation and abuse, and to have that conversation openly. To have it in the public realm, so that people become more familiar and more comfortable with having this conversation. Because by removing the stigma from it, we can empower those victims who need to have their abuse acknowledged, acted on, and reduced. And the Say No campaign, which you're launching today in the Western Balkans through this conference, the purpose of Say No is to do those types of actions, to reduce victimization, to educate children and adults, to provide concrete advice, and all of this in a sympathetic way, using messaging and media to which children can relate and to which they will understand. Europol's purpose is to support the member states and partners in making their countries safer. We do this by working together, cooperating, sharing information, and providing a space in which all of this can be done. The results of that cooperation, the results of that sharing of information, sharing of knowledge, are things like the Say No campaign and its extension through the Western Balkans, the Western Balkan countries that is being launched today. That cooperation with countries in the Western Balkans has already been happening. They have been included in actions like the victim identification task forces at Europol, which involve international cooperation. Through those task forces, more than 500 children have been identified so far, and more than 170 of those who have been abusing them have been identified and arrested. As professionals in this area of work, your efforts contribute to this. Always be aware that what you are doing makes a difference. You can always encourage the public to do their bit as well through initiatives like the Europol Save a Child, Trace an Object. Available on the Europol website, you can find Trace an Object, where there are pieces of images of child sexual exploitation and abuse without any personal identifiable information, which we ask you to ask others to use your life experience and knowledge and tell Europol what you know about these images and try to make a difference in the life of a child by doing that. The images that are posted there are from cold cases. So the child who has been depicted in the material to which they relate has almost no other possibility of being saved from harm. And in this way, already 12 children have been identified, their abuse acknowledged, and they've been removed from further harm. The work that is done between law enforcement, non-governmental organizations, hotlines, academia, educators, and the public in general is essential. That cooperation between all of us is essential. So I urge you to continue to work together, continue to recognize and find ways to cooperate, to exchange knowledge, continue to encourage to say no, children rather, to say no when they are contacted in uncomfortable ways online. Continue to know that you are making a difference in the lives of the children that you focus on protecting. Thank all of you for all that you are doing to protect children. And thank you again.
Hvala lepa, gospod Delaney, za vaš uvod.
Thank you very much, Mr. Delaney, for your presentation. Your Slovene is excellent, and perhaps in the next year you will not be needing interpretation anymore. But for our participants, let me to summarize your speech. So, Mr. Delaney, the head of team at AP Twins at Europol, stresses that in work groups for identification of victims at Europol, which also includes the Western Balkans partners, they identified more than 500 children. And not only that, they also identified also the offenders. And this also, of course, included arrests. He also highlighted that you can take initiatives to the public and in this way participate in the fight against crime and help identify victims. And one of these initiatives is Stop the E-Abuse. In this way, each and every one of you can help to change every child's life. In your chat, you can also see the link where you can access this website and read more details about this initiative. This helped to identify 12 child victims. He also stressed the importance of the campaign Say No, and also the importance of the awareness of the participants of the fact that we are changing the lives of children and that we need to focus on the protection of them, which is of course our intention and our mission. Once again, Mr. Delaney, thank you very much. I would also like to thank all the other speakers of this introductory session. Let us now turn to the campaign that we have been mentioning. So we said that today the Slovenian police, together with Europol and also the police associations of the Western Balkans, they're starting the campaign Say No. The reason for this connection in the Western Balkans is based on a similar tradition of the perpetrators. Because of the common language or similar language, it is easier for them to connect with victims and also get into physical contact, even if the perpetrator and the offender come from two different countries. The investigators of the Western Balkan regions are therefore even more inclined to cooperate both on a formal and informal level. They exchange experience and practices, they have joint trainings, and they provide cross-border assistance in investigating child sexual abuse. the Say No campaign is one of the joint measures in this area with which the police associations are trying to give out the following message. If there are no borders online for perpetrators, then there must be no borders also for police in their common fight and against this crime and investigation of such crime. And they say that they would do everything to provide protection of victims and also take suitable action against perpetrators. Within this campaign, there was also a video that has been compiled, which we will be showing now.
Djeca su sve prisutnija u virtualnom okruženju.
Pametne naprave na internetu uporabljajo vse mlajši in brez nadzora staršev.
Otroci in starši se ne zavedajo nevarnosti interneta. Pogosto so preveč zanimivi in preveč neumni.
Postoje ljudi na mreži koji iskorištavaju dječju radoznalost i nekritičnost u svoje loše svrhe.
The internet allows offenders to access children under the pretext of friendship.
The offenders isolate children and prepare them for actions that the children would never have done.
Počinilac uspostavi dovoljno povjerljiv odnos sa djetetom, seksualno zlostavljanje je udaljeno samo nekoliko klikova.
Otrok pošlje intimno fotografijo, tako postane žrtev silovanja ali drugih spolnih zlorab.
Otroci pogosto sami najbolje se voda izklona zlorab in silovanja.
Posljedice seksualnog zlostavljanja djeci su veoma teške i doživotne.
Internet ne pozna meja, ne poznajo jih niti storilci spolnih zlorab otrok.
Zapadnog Balkana zlostavljanje je još lakše za počinioca zbog veza i jezičkih sličnosti.
Državne granice nas neće zaustaviti u otkrivanju počinilaca seksualnog zlostavljanja djece i spašavanju žrtava.
Je podražуваме и заекнуваме соработката со земјите од Западен Балкан и Европа и останокот од светот за заедничка борба против сексуална експлоатација на деца.
Učinit ćemo sve da zaštitimo djecu i pobrinut ćemo se da počinioci budu kažnjeni. Zajedničkim radom možemo spriječiti seksualno zlostavljanje djece. Pobrinut ćemo se da i internet bude bezbjedno okruženje za sve korisnike, a posebno za naše najmlađe.
Djeco, recite ne nepoznatim osobama.
Sami pridemo hitro, skupaj pridemo dlje. Gremo skupaj do cilja.
Tako, iskrene čestitke vsem.
Congratulations to all the participants for this initiative and also their message. And also all the practical pieces of advice on how the younger population can be protected online. Because we do not have enough of such events, it is good to hear their voices in the professional arena, so that we can raise the awareness about this problem and to bring protection to our children.